Yo, what is up, y'all? My name is Ethan Burks, aka The Real EDB, and I am back with my second video. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at the all-time teams that 2K18 has released for each team. Now, essentially what this means is they combine the best players of all time, and they're going to put them on a roster for each of these teams. So, for example, for the Bulls, point guard, probably going to be Derrick Rose. Shooting guard, definitely Michael Jordan. Small forward, most likely Scottie Pippen, etc., etc. So this can be players from today's day and also players from the past. So this will make it a little interesting. There's definitely some controversy I've seen already with some of the teams, and people aren't very happy about it. But one thing to keynote, 100%, 2K is not to blame for players you do not see on here that 100% should be on here. Biggest example being Charles Barkley and Reggie Miller. 2K does not own the rights to them, and they personally just don't want to be in the game for whatever reason. So we have to respect their privacy and know that they just don't want to be in the game. But without further ado, let's get this list started. First, it looks like we're starting with the Hawks, so I'm going to assume it's going by the city's first couple of initials in order, and we'll go down from there. But at point, they're running Lou Hudson. That's interesting. Joe Johnson at the 2, Dominique, Bob Pettit, and Dikembe Mutombo. I'll stay on the list just so you guys can get a look, but I'll most likely just be going over the starting lineup. And if I look and see a player that isn't on there, then I'll let you guys know. Looking at the Hawks, there's two players that actually come to my mind. No Jamal Crawford and no Jason Terry. Definitely feel like those two should be on there somewhere. Maybe instead of Stacey Augmon or something. Spud Webb is just one of those Hawks you feel like has to be on there just because heart over height, you know. For the Nets, we got Jason Kidd, Drazen Petrovic, Julius Erving, Buck Williams, and Brook Lopez. Didn't know too much about Buck Williams. He's pretty high overall, actually, so he might be a nice player. I bet most likely in terms of rebounding rather than offensively. But looking at the rest, I don't know too much about the Nets' history to really judge what players should and shouldn't be on there. Definitely not going to say Kevin Garnett or Paul Pierce should be on there. But overall, it looks pretty solid. Celtics, we got Bob Cousy, John Havlicek, Paul Pierce, Larry Bird, and Bill Russell. So one thing that does kind of shock me here is that they don't have Larry at the 3, and then you put McHale at the 4. Personally, if I'm being honest with you, I think Paul Pierce, offensively the lineup's great, but overall I think Kevin McHale should probably be in the lineup for Paul Pierce, and you move Larry Bird to the 3, put McHale at the 4, and then make Paul Pierce your 6th man. But overall, their team is stacked. For Charlotte, we have Kemba, Eddie Jones, Glenn Rice, Larry Johnson, and Alonzo Mourning. Looking through, there is one person actually I noticed that they are forgetting. Gerald Wallace. I don't know if 2K doesn't own his rights. I'd find it odd if they didn't, honestly, because I remember using him a lot in like 2K12 when I think he was on the Trailblazers at the time. But I know he was a beast also when he was on the Hornets. So I find that kind of odd that he's not in there. But like I said, 2K probably for whatever reason doesn't own the rights to him. And here we go. We're on the Bulls now. Derrick Rose at point. We got MJ at the 2, Scottie 3, Dennis Rodman at the 4, and then Artis Gilmore at the 5. That's very strange. Oh, whoa. Jerry Sloan and Bob Lover in the game. That's nice. I find it strange that Artis Gilmore is like, no discredit to Artis, but I think his playing time was around the 70s, and literally the next best Bulls center that you can think of is probably Joakim Noah, because after that, it's going to be players like Bill Cartwright and Luke Longley and Charles Oakley if you want to put him as a 5. But shout out to Artis being such a great Bull player. For the Cavs, we got Mark Price, Kyrie, LeBron, Brad Daugherty, and Big Z is actually in the game. That's pretty dope. He's an 88 overall. Got Kevin Love. I have no clue who Campy Russell is, if I'm being honest with you, just skimming through here. If you guys want to let me know who that is in the comments, feel free. Give me some background knowledge. For Dallas, we got Derek Harper is the best. Okay. Rolando, Mark Aguirre, Dirk, Sean Bradley. I was kind of thinking, honestly, they were going to put Jason Terry at the 1. I wasn't going to say Jason Kidd because he was still great in Dallas, but those weren't like his best years. Yeah, I'd probably swap out Derek Harper and put Jason Terry at point if I'm. But that's it for Dallas for me. I don't see anything, and I don't know too much about Dallas's past. For the all-time Denver team, we got Fat Lever, David Thompson, Alex English, Carmelo Anthony, and Dan Issel. Who the hell is Dan Issel? I 100% thought Dikembe would be the starting center, but I guess I am wrong. That's another player you guys can let me know in the comments, or I'm honestly probably going to look him up because I've never heard of him, and if he's on the all-time Denver Nuggets team as a center, then I definitely want to figure out who he is. I need to figure out what time era he was, because I don't think there's any way that he played from the 80s to now. Like, I would 100% know who he is if that was the case. Now on to Detroit, we got Isaiah, Joe Dumars, Grant Hill, Ben Wallace, and Bob Lanier. And again, Detroit has one of those players that people have been wanting to see, and he's not on here, and that is Rasheed Wallace. It's kind of sad because we can't get that 2003 Pistons team where it was, who we got? Chauncey, Rip Hamilton, who was this? Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, and Ben Wallace. Is Tayshaun even on here? No. Yeah, Tayshaun's not even on here, but over Rick Mahorn, would you have Tayshaun, even Vinnie Johnson? I don't know. There's always going to be controversy with this stuff, so. Golden State, we got Curry, Clay, Chris Mullin, Rick Barry, and Wilt. Definitely find it funny that, like, they didn't go total hype beast and put KD in the all-time Warriors lineup. They might as well should have gone Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, and fuck Wilt, put Zaza on there, deadass. But at the bottom of the bench, we got Monte at 86, so their team overall looks really good. Baron Davis is on there, that's pretty dope, I like that. But overall, really good team for the Warriors. Next, we got Houston, which is James Harden, Tracy McGrady, Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Yao Ming. That lineup is looking very nice. And looking through, I don't see any issues with the rest of the team. I don't think anyone should really be added on there. I'm looking through. Yeah, now look, Patrick Beverley might be a little controversy. I don't know. I feel like you could 100% throw on someone else than him, maybe like a Sam Cassell possibly. Patrick Beverley is definitely a beast defensively as a point guard, and his offensive ability is improving, but an all-time Houston, that 100% has to be like his rating for this year or something. I don't see how Patrick Beverley is already an all-time. Yeah, that's definitely his rating for this year, and that's why he's thrown on there. Now on to Indiana, where controversy has, I don't want to say controversy, but more anger has came from the 2K community about no Reggie Miller. Because you got Mark Jackson, Ron Artest, Paul George, Jermaine O'Neal, and Rick Smits. And if you think all-time Indiana, you might as well take the all-time Indiana team out if you're not even going to put in Reggie Miller, if I'm being honest with you. Like, that's just not it. And I know it's not 2K's fault. It's Reggie Miller not wanting to be in the game for whatever reason. Another thing I noticed, being from Indiana, Danny Granger isn't in here as well. And he 100% should be in over someone like Herb Williams. Like, I'd honestly put Danny Granger up that far for all-time Pacers, if I'm being honest. But overall, their team's looking all right. For the Clippers, we got Chris Paul, Corey Maggette, Bob McAdoo, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. Looking through their bench, they got a nice bench. It's definitely a lot more current players. Two people I don't see, I might be joking about this first one, Dominique. It was kind of towards later in his career, but it's still Dominique, and I bet you could put him in over Darius Miles. And then another person, Lamar Odom is not on here as well, and I 100% believe he's one of those players that just doesn't want to be in the game. I don't know why Lamar Odom kind of, I don't want to say gives off that vibe, but thinks he's like too good to be in a video game or something like that to me. And he also did have, I don't want to say he had those issues, he did kind of. And I think it's going to be the same case kind of with Gilbert Arenas, because I know Gilbert Arenas is 100% not in this game. And it's probably 100% because of his past issues, where all of his, how should I word it, all of his drama that went on early in his career kind of, I don't want to say ruined his reputation, because everyone still sees him as a great basketball player, but almost like demoralized him as like a person. Next we got Memphis, which is Mike Conley, Tony Allen, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Pau Gasol, and Marc Gasol. Someone I might throw on the team, and that's just a maybe. Actually, no, I don't even think I would. I was going to say OJ Mayo, but he was definitely too young in his career to like put an impact on the Grizzlies team. Overall, their team just looks average compared to the other ones, I guess. Now on to the Miami Heat, and this team should be really good. We got Tim Hardaway, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Alonzo Mourning. And off the bench, you have Shaq and Glenn Rice. Another thing I noticed is Ronnie Cycli is now in the game. That's very nice. I've seen stuff about Ronnie Cycli in the Heat's history, and he just looked like a beast rebounder. So he might be one of those Dennis Rodman style players, which will be really nice to have on your team. Next, we got the Milwaukee Bucks. We got Oscar Robertson, Sidney Moncrief, Ray Allen, Bob Danridge, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And we got Giannis off the bench. That's probably going to change by the end of his career. Michael Redd also in the game. I don't recall Michael Redd being in this past 2K. Prove me if I'm wrong. I honestly probably am, because I actually do think I saw his name at one point. I think he's like a Ruby card or something, but Michael Redd will be able to shoot lights out, and that'll be nice. Next, we got Minnesota, which is Sam Cassell. Andrew Wiggins is already in there. Wally Szczerbiak, Kevin Love, and Kevin Garnett. And you got Cat off the bench. Andrew Wiggins is really already their best shooting guard they've ever had, which is pretty amazing to me, because I can't really think of anyone that'd be ahead of him. It does look like you could probably throw Stephon Marbury in there at the 2, but the way Wiggins' career is going, he's probably going to be an all-time Timberwolf, hopefully. On to the next one. It's the Pelicans/Hornets. We got Chris Paul. Baron Davis is a 90 overall. That's super nice. Jamal Mashburn, David West, and Anthony Davis. And you even got Boogie off the bench already at an 88. I'm looking through this. This is more, honestly, it looks a lot like the Hornets team from about 2-3 years ago. I see Eric Gordon, Drew, Tyreek, and Trevor Ariza 4 in a row, and those were all players on that team 4 years ago, basically. Some of them are still there, like Drew, but Eric Gordon, Tyreek, Ariza, gone. And then you got JR at the bottom. For the New York Knicks, we got Walt Frazier, Allen Houston, Carmelo Anthony, Willis Reed, and Patrick Ewing. Yeah, why not? And Kristaps is already on there. He's there. Whoa. Knicks team's got a lot of good players, actually. If Kristaps is your worst player at 86, then your team must have a really good history, and obviously being the Knicks, they do. I'll be honest with you, I don't know why I was saying this. I really thought Bernard King was going to be in their starting lineup over Melo. But yeah, the Knicks lineup looks pretty dope, I'm being honest. For the Thunder/Supersonics, it looks like, we got Gary Payton, Russell Westbrook, Ray Allen, Kevin Durant, and Sean Kemp running the center. Doesn't look like they're missing too much, honestly. Dang, and their best player too is Serge Ibaka at an 86. Got a lot of 87s. Their team looks super good too. Sean Kemp, I think, should be a 90 at least. For the Magic, we got Penny, T-Mac, Grant Hill, Dwight Howard, and Shaq. Now that starting lineup is pretty beastly. Looking through, I do not like the very bottom of the list. Aaron Gordon is 100% not an all-time Magic already. I would rather have Victor Oladipo over Aaron Gordon on the all-time Orlando squad if I'm truthfully believe Aaron Gordon. Is that going to be his rating in 2K? Seriously, an 80? I just feel like he hasn't done too much to earn that rating. Just a bunch of crazy dunks, honestly. For the 76ers, we got Allen Iverson, Hal Greer, Julius Erving, Billy Cunningham, and Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah. Ooh, one thing I am noticing. That's kind of... No Moses Malone. Noticing this now. Moses passed away, was it 3 years ago? And I'm kind of wondering if his family might have said something about renouncing his rights to be in 2K. Because Moses Malone was 100% in 2K14 at least. I know that for sure, because I don't want to say he was on my team, but just off pure memory, I remember Moses Malone being in the game. But like I said, I wonder if his family renounced his rights to be in the game. That'd be strange if that is. For Phoenix, we got Steve Nash. I have no clue who Paul Westphal is, if I'm being completely honest. Never heard of him in my life. I don't know if he's an old player or if he was a part of the Charles Barkley team or whatever, but never heard of Paul Westphal. We got Sean Marion, Tom Chambers, and Amari. So another weird thing, there's no Barkley, but this past year in 2K, he was placed into my team. So I don't know what happened there, because that's very strange to me, if I'm being honest with you. I thought he'd be in the game for sure if he was in 2K last year. Technically he was, at least he was a card in my team. Very strange that he's not on the team, and it kind of sucks because he'd be a really fun player to use. Next we got the Trailblazers, and it's Damian Lillard, Clyde Drexler, Jerome Kersey, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Bill Walton. And looking at the bench, it looks like it's about as good as it gets for the Trailblazers, if I'm being honest. Next, we got the Kings, where it's Oscar Robertson, Money Mitch, Peja Stojakovic, Chris Webber, and Jerry Lucas. And even off the bench, they got 290 overalls. Looking at their lineup, it looks pretty good. Reggie Theus, that's pretty dope that they got him on there. A lot of the 2000 and 2001 Kings, or the 2001-2002 Kings, when they played the Lakers and they were blowing up on the scene. I hope their team, like in general, just comes back. Like, I don't care about Oscar Robertson impeachment. I don't remember what year it was. I think it was 2K13 where they had that Kings team and now it's not there anymore. I don't remember what the reason was for. I want to say it was Chris Webber. But now that Chris Webber's back on the game, I think there shouldn't be any issues as to why you couldn't put the team back in. But that would be pretty cool to see them back. For the Spurs, we got Tony Parker, George Gervin, Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan, and David Robinson. And then we got Manu off the bench. I was probably going to go Tony Parker, Manu, George Gervin, Tim Duncan, and David Robinson. But that's not the case. And I don't know too much about the Spurs history to say who should be in, who should be out. But it looks pretty good overall. Now we're on to the Toronto Raptors, where it's Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Vince Carter, Chris Bosh, and Antonio Davis. Their center is definitely lacking. That's very strange that Antonio Davis is their best center they've ever had, and he's an 85 overall. But definitely dope to see vintage Vince in there. Chris Bosh with the dreadhead. It'll be fun to play with him, shooting some threes with someone that's 6'10". And going down the list, I don't recall any Raptors that should really be on the list over any of these guys. So we'll move on to the next team. Now we are on to the Lakers, where it's Magic Johnson, Jerry West, Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Shaq. 100% best team that we will see out of any of these all-time teams. Because look at their bench. Their bench is a starting lineup too. Like, that bench is better than the Toronto Raptors and probably many other teams that we've seen so far on this list. So just the Lakers' history is incredible. But it's weird because, actually I shouldn't say it's weird. They got 90s like 10 spots down. I was going to say that Serge Ibaka is the best player on the Thunder and he's an 86. Freaking Lakers 9 spots down, have 90 overalls, so I take that back. We got the Utah Jazz, who have John Stockton, Pete Maravich, Adrian Dantley, Karl Malone, and Mark Eaton. No controversy there, honestly, with any of those people, if I'm being honest. Yeah, literally, that just looks perfect the way it is. And for Washington, we have John Wall, Earl Monroe, Bernard King, Elvin Hayes, and Wes Unseld. Same with that. I don't believe there's any issues. Let me look through. One person, actually, that does step out to me, and I don't want to say this is like a joke or anything. One, I feel like Josh Howard should be on there. Two, this is kind of my joke, but there's no MJ. I'd 100% throw in like a super old Wizards MJ over Otto Porter. Or even Rip Hamilton, I'd throw him on over there, honestly. But is that, yep, that is it. Well, thank you guys for watching. This has been my review over the 2K18 all-time team rosters. You have any comments about what players should be thrown onto which teams and which players should be taken off, feel free to comment down below. I'll review your answers, and I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.